Hi, Joythi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Siddharth. How are you?
I'm great, and it's wonderful to finally have you on. I know we've been trying to make this happen, but I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be on the show with you. Very excited to talk about everything 361 Tranquil Touch.
Yes, speaking of 361 Tranquil Touch, please tell me about the journey.
So with the journey of we have to go back to the past, was in corporate for over 20 years, went through burnout, went through everything that you could ever go through in corporate, and then decided enough is enough.
Mhm.
Always had 361 Tranquil Touch on the side, but then made it my baby, made it my one and only way of giving back. So 361 Tranquil Touch is all about transformation and finding tranquility in that transformation. I do a lot of coaching, I do a lot of workshops, and I do a lot of team building. That is what 361 Tranquil Touch is all about. Also, when I went back and went through my whole fertility journey while I was still in my career, I realized 361 is a way to give back to the corporates that are actually going through all of these different treatments, and there's no escape. So for me, it's about giving back and just being there for people that are under extreme pressure.
Awesome. You mentioned about the corporate. Do you mind touching up on that a little bit?
So I started my career off in corporate first. We
Mhm.
started off as a programmer. So for any programmers out
Okay.
there, yes. So started off as a programmer, built my way up to executive level. Like I
Mhm.
said, I built teams. I managed multi-million-dollar projects. So worked in your various banks in South Africa, telecommunications, FMGCs. Yeah, that's my corporate career.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. In the space of 361 Tranquil Touch, who are the people that you look up to?
So the one person that I do look up to is, first of all, my mom. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. In all honesty, she really pushed me to drive me to get to everything that I wanted. Other one is Bren Brown. She inspires me because she talks very openly about vulnerability, courage, being authentic, being an authentic leader as well. So she definitely is one of my people that I look up to. And then I have to mention my doctor, Dr. Fenter from Vitalab. I'm not sure if I can mention companies.
Sure, you can mention whoever you like. I'm told.
Yeah, so Vitalab, that's where I did my fertility treatment. I really look up to him and his team because if it wasn't for them, I don't think I actually would have finished and having my daughter after that treatment because it does take a toll on you. So the three people that I definitely look up to right now is obviously my mom, uh, Brown, as well as Dr. Fenter.
Beautiful. What have been your highlights in your journey of 361 Tranquil Touch?
My highlights would be
Mhm.
obviously publishing my book, When Hope Intertwines with Science. That's my whole
Mhm.
journey about going through fertility, obviously eventually having my daughter, going through postnatal depression. 6 months
Oh,
later, after being told you won't have another child, I fell pregnant naturally.
wow.
Also going through postnatal depression, and then once getting out of it, trying to find the new me because as women, we always get loaded on with titles. First, you're somebody's daughter, then you are somebody's sibling, then you're somebody's wife, then you have in laws, then you are somebody's aunt, then you're a mom, and you tend to forget who you are at the bottom of it all. So that's the one thing that I also talk about is finding the new me after that. One of the Another highlight is obviously getting 361 to the different stages that it's as it's grown. That's my third baby. My book is my fourth baby. I always say tell people those, my Mira Kabir 361, and then it's obviously my book. But also just building 361 to get to the platform where it is. I mean, I've gone back to corporates, but in the sense of where I'm actually coaching leadership, I'm actually coaching the staff,
Okay.
I'm doing the workshops. So for me, that's another highlight.
Any lowlights, if any?
Lowlights is nobody tells you when you start your business that it's you. Before you can actually build a team. Nobody tells you you have to work double as hard as you work in corporate. So we're learning all of those things is it's also it took a toll on me because I had to basically now be on the other side of the fence where I knew every month I had a paycheck while I was in corporate.
Mm.
When you have a business, you're not sure whether you're getting a paycheck or not, but you still have to pay your staff. So
Mm.
for me, it was just learn. I wouldn't really call them lowlights, but they were. It was building those blocks for me to get to
Mm.
where I needed to be.
Okay. All right. Now we get to the fascinating bit because you were telling me this actually off air on the WhatsApp. So my following question is, so what are your plans for the rest of this year and beyond?
So for the rest of this year, I actually have a few things coming up. I have an event which is on next week Sunday, the 13th of September. It's called Chai Chapters and Conversations, where I'll be talking about my whole fertility journey, postnatal depression, as well as finding my new self. Plus, I have a male coming in to speak from his point of view, Vishal Kanji, from his point of view of how his journey went through with fertility as well as dealing with a wife that went through postnatal depression, which is not easy. And then I have Kimona Govender also speaking at the event from an Ayurvedic perspective, where she will basically tell people what you can do and what you can't do from an Ayurvedic perspective while you're going on these different journeys. And I have Tara from by Tara Williams, who's going to be speaking about also helping navigating that journey with couples itself. So that's on the 13th of September at the Banjara restaurant. Tickets are available on Cricket, so there are still tickets, but please buy them if you are interested in coming because it is getting sold out quite fast. I have another event in October, speaking about finding the new you, which I think a lot of people, whether you're men or women, at certain point you need to define who's your new self, because you can't be the same person you were at 30
Mm.
when you're 50 years old. So you need to obviously bridge that gap and find the new you, which will be coming soon. And then in November and December, I normally just do very small, quiet retreats for people to reset, rebalance, close off the year. And then in Feb, we start again. So that's what I have planned for this year. And obviously, just promoting my book, When Hope Intertwines with Science, which is at Exclusive Books. It's also on my website for sale. I've also just started creating a new range of oils, herbal oils that you
Wow.
can carry with you. That's also for sale on my website. And I've just introduced a 32, no, 52 deck card, which has affirmations for the full week. Well, weekly affirmations for the full year. That's also on sale on my website. But it's something that I think helps a lot of clients just to guide you through the year of where you need to be, basically. So yeah, that's a mouthful for me.
Now that's awesome. And I hope that we can do follow-up chats on those events you just mentioned, especially for the October event onwards. So actually, before I ask my final question, are you okay taking a comment question?
I would love to take comments and questions.
Awesome. This is from Maya Shawarmas and Wraps. Okay. This says, Hi, Jyoti. Do you do Reiki healing? If then it says, please advise which oil is best for arthritis.
So yes, I do Reiki healing. Arthritis, I would suggest something in the lavender range. There is quite a few oils out there, but lavender helps. Eucalyptus helps for the arthritis. Yeah, so look at those oils. If you would like to know more information, please contact me because obviously I need to have a session with you before I recommend anything. But obviously, lavender, eucalyptus, look at those ranges. And yes, I do Reiki healing.
Beautiful. All right. Finally, Jyoti, what are your words of inspiration for people that would like to be in the space that you're in?
Take the leap. If you have an idea, run with it. Obviously, do your homework behind it, but run with it. Uh, for me, starting 361 was a passion of mine, and I really wanted to go out there and do something. I literally started off first doing Reiki sessions, then going into obviously coaching sessions, and then moving into my niche. But I still do everything, but my niche is coaching, business coaching, coaching leadership and development, training, as well as team building. But if you have an idea, run with it. And another thing is, if you have a story, share it. Everybody has a story, everybody has something to share, and you always give back to something. Your story is always there um, to inspire. So share your story.
Amazing. Jyoti, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we'll catch up again soon.
No, definitely, Siddhant, I would love to catch up for the October event with you. Just talking about finding your new self from a female and a male perspective. So definitely, and thank you for having me on your show. I really, really appreciate it.
You're most welcome.